The changing of the guard doesn't only apply prophetically to nations right now, as that has been heavily triggered in the realm of the spirit after the biblical victory in America. That is affecting majorly nations in the natural, but also in the realm of the spirit, this changing of the guard, the firstborn being struck, has prophetically been triggered in the church. Why is that? Because if we expect the Lord to judge nations and our enemies, judgment first begins in the house of God. When you see this so strong happening within the earth, it is a sign that it is going to happen in the church, because the church and the political are running parallel right now. What happens in the church, you're going to see happen in the political. What happens in the political, you're going to see happen in the church. That's why we should all humble ourselves before the Lord. No one in ministry is ever going to be perfect. So if you're looking for that, stop looking, you'll ruin it. If you go find a perfect ministry and you go be a part of it, you'll ruin it because you're not perfect. There is no such thing as a perfect ministry. You'll never find it. Everyone has sinned and falls short of the glory of God. However, there's a difference between a sin and immediately turning from it, and continuing in willful sin and rebellion and cover up. There's a difference between the two. We all sin and fall short of the glory of God, all of us. But when there's willful, continued sin, that's when you see things like this happen. Now, I have a clip here from July 19th, 2020. This clip is 4.5 years old. I look a little different back then. We were actually in the thick of it with Chris at that point when he had the brain rupture in January. He was just coming home for a short stint, and then he would be back in the hospital. So honestly, I didn't care at that point how I look, because I was running around care of Chris. So I look a little different back then than I look now. But I want to play for you this clip that is over 4.5 years old. These forces of distraction, manipulation, oppression, attempting to slow you down and take you off your mark will not prevail as long as you stay your course with me, your Father in heaven. For I am calling you out into the water. I am calling you deeper with me. It is time. For as the church wants to walk in the superficial, my true remnant will walk in the supernatural. That's capitalized. And it shall be a very, capitalized, potent and scandalous dividing line for those who have been running a Wizard of Oz type operation in the church. Okay. Wizard of Oz type operation in the church. Let me show you what showed up on X in the past few days. So this 4.5 years ago, right? The Lord says, I'm going to read the line again. It shall be a very potent and scandalous dividing line, potent, scandalous, dividing line for those who have been running a Wizard of Oz type operation in the church. Let me show you what just showed up on X. Alyssa DeGraff, who apparently is an advocate of victims of abuse within the church. And she writes, on that note, and there it is, Toto pulling back the curtain on the Wizard of Oz and exposing him. Now, 4.5 years ago, this was said. And there she is posting an image of Toto pulling back. Now, yes, The Wizard of Oz was not a good movie. However, the point is, the Lord is calling it a Wizard of Oz type operation in the church for a reason. This is 4.5 years ago. And here is Alyssa DeGraff, probably has no, knowledge of that prophecy, is posting the picture of when Toto pulls back the curtain on the Wizard of Oz and exposes him.